Boop, 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 boop. Nope. All right. We are live.
Whoa.
We are
How did I
live
end
here
up
at the
here?
next. I don't know. You just teleported here.
Yeah, I was sitting at my computer desk, and then I'm like suddenly in my closet. It's so weird.
For a
Quite
second, I
odd.
had a little bit. I had a little bit of a lag, so I was like, "Is this gonna go? Are we going? Are we going?" And then boom, the little red blinker came on. So, yep, we are live. For anyone coming in for the first time, welcome to the show. For our listeners that follow us consistently, welcome back. We have another Friday episode for you, another weekly episode where we're going to drop valuable knowledge, give you guys some takeaways, so you can apply this and maximize your gains in the gym and your time.
Gains in life.
You said the word blinker. Do we have any more intro stuff to do, or can I just jump into it real quick?
No, go for it.
You're going to be the spokesperson for all BMW drivers of the world. I've like an official statement. Do or do they not come with blinkers?
It's an add-on.
Is it a feature? Like, do you have to pay extra for it?
Actually, you pay to take them off.
Oh, I've been noticing that a lot, man. In my car is like, because for anybody that doesn't know, I drive a WRX, and I drive like a fucking grandpa. I'll admit it to anybody. I have a fast car. I drive it slow. But my car, like people like gravitate toward it. They're like, oh my god, I'm gonna race that fucker, and I'm like, I'm just cruising. My child's in the back seat. Like I'm miles per gallon right now. Like, don't fuck with me. But like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry, my dog's trying to dig to China.
I thought that's what you said to the drivers.
It's like I get fucking people are like but BMWs I've noticed just no fucking blinkers. Anytime I've seen them, they just fucking no indication.
I'm guilty of that sometimes, but that's just because I'm on a mission, dude. No one's catching me.
To be fair, like if nobody's around, like if there's like enough car lengths behind me where there's
Yeah.
just nothing going on, and I'm just like scoot, that's fine.
Or if you're in a turn-only lane.
Yeah, turn only lane. Like there's obvious like exceptions to the rule, but if I'm like in the middle of traffic, I at least want to give the person behind me and in front of me like an idea of
course,
where
yeah.
I'm going. And I just noticed like BMWs just don't fucking do it, bro. They just don't. I don't know why. And it's not even young people. It's like there's fucking cotton tops driving around here, no blinkers. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Maybe it's like what's that confirmation bias where I like started off with that as an idea, and now it's just that's all I notice. So maybe you know what, I'm gonna start paying attention to like Hondas.
Anybody.
A lot of cars do it, but I do it sometimes, but not like when it's heavy traffic, just because I hate when it's done to me. So I'm because I don't want someone to hit me, dude. Like in Florida, you don't even know who's here anymore.
Okay.
We have a mix of every state, so traffic has been ridiculous, especially on the main roads. It takes me
like,
double the amount of time.
You know what I equated to? It's like Mike. You used to work at Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you're still there, but you have the traffic of Crunch.
Oh my god, I'd fucking shoot myself.
I'm just saying, like that's what it's just because
it's kind of what
it's so much. And in too much too soon, where it's hard for here to able to adapt to the growth in the, I guess, population, right? You can only do so much here. I mean, like around me, they're doing a lot of construction to widening out lanes, adding in new lanes, but it actually won't be done till like I think we saw 2023 or 5, one of the two.
Yeah,
something that it makes no damn sense. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Leave with time, leave early if you have to. But anytime I step out, I'm just like, I just get so damn frustrated.
For anyone that just heard that amazing, well put analogy and wondering who this is,
who is it? Let me introduce myself. New to the show. Thank you, Gabriel.
Our special appearance.
Guest show, exactly. Guest on the show. Friend to the show.
Welcome back, man. I mean,
happening?
we've done a couple episodes, and unfortunately, you've been kind of swamped with stuff. Or
it's just, dude. It's like the past, I want to say, a damn near month. It's just been so like on with at work. It changed up a bit for the past, I don't know, maybe like to my understanding, 6 months, and I came on board in the middle of it. There was a more like a split in the way that the department was ran. That it was split into two segments.
Mm-hmm.
Like a group focusing on a segment of the business, all collections and all departments, and same thing with the other one. And now it's more of like it's been split up by departments as opposed to job duties, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's an influx of that to change of like what I needed to do and getting used to that, and that's on the work. And then as far as the business goes, it's just been pretty busy. Like I mentioned to you guys off air, that this weekend we have a balloon job that's due for tomorrow and a birthday party. We've been having a lot of birthday parties, a lot of new items being ordered and needed to be uploaded to the store and to the site. Orders is just it's a lot going on, and I mean I felt super bad. Like for instance, the past couple of times that I haven't been able to join on, but it's just even stuck on a call or stuck doing this and that. It's just my bad. I mean, like I know everybody's busy doing something, doing their own deal, and it's just that's where I'm up to, and I just couldn't. Sometimes I feel like I'm damn near drowning with all this kind of stuff. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
good. It's good to be busy. It's better than the opposite of just sitting around, twiddling your thumbs, not doing much of anything. So it's cool. It's just getting into the swing of things and finally crossing things off. Like I won't always have to keep on adding new items to the site or adding new things to Pinterest or whatever for our store. For the job, it's just mainly settling in. It's going on about damn near a month or coming up on a month of me being in the new role. So things should start leveling off soon.
Okay. That's not too bad. I mean, hey, everyone's got to make some adjustments. Just as it's part of the job, I guess. What can you do?
This is true. Exactly. What are you gonna do? Bitch and moan? I mean, you
Yeah,
can.
we don't.
I mean,
can.
I
We don't
will.
do that. We don't do that around here.
I do sometimes.
Not out loud,
Not out loud, just in your mind
just internally.
or off air,
Under my breath.
under your beard. But basically, I'll go first with a couple updates and stuff, and just whatever we're gonna bring to the episode. I'm a little. It's been a long week, guys. Things are picking up again as a trainer. I've been waking up early every single day, so I'm actually just adjusting my sleep. Now, Mike, I forgot to tell you this a while back, or maybe I did off air, but I got the bed. Obviously, I finally got the bed a couple at the beginning of the month of January, and they first sent me the first little analysis of the month of my sleep. It's telling me how much I've been sleeping, what's my rest sleep, and all that good stuff. So,
I don't.
um,
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that because on days where I wake up feeling awful, it
Mhm.
gives me a really high score. And when I feel amazing, it's like negative. Not really negative. It doesn't go negative,
Really?
but it'll give me like I'll be like a 40 or a 50, and I feel amazing. Like best night of sleep I've had in a while. Like
Mhm.
last night, I was up every 20 minutes because Oliver was fucking shrieking in his sleep for who knows whatever reason.
Mhm.
And it gave me like a fucking 70 or an 80, which maybe by some standards is low, but that's higher than I normally get. So it's like I just stopped like giving it any credibility whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe it's the way I sleep. Who the fuck knows? But
I don't know, man. It's probably tracking me or Katara, but
it could be tracking.
Katara's probably living her best life, always sleeping. But no, I've been feeling good. I think obviously a bet can only take you so far, right? You would have to be applying all these other things too, making sure you're actually like getting in bed at a certain time, waking up consistently, sleeping. So my schedule's been pretty similar each week, even on the weekends. Getting up at a regular like max like 8:39, and that's if I went to bed a little later. I know, right?
I
But
miss those days.
What's that?
but yeah, no, on even weekends because I've been working in the morning, so I've been getting up latest on Saturdays like 8, and that's if I push the session to like 9, 10. Getting my life together in that way, sleep's been better, feeling more rested. But though at the end of the week on a Friday, I always know that my body's just kind of just wants to chill, stay relaxed. I worked out today, been pretty consistent with my workouts for the last like 4 months, 5 months. So I've been doing good in that department. And my chess update for you guys, I found what could potentially be my teacher. What's the guy's name in the show? Have you guys seen the Green Gambit at all? Do you know the guy's name? Anyways, there's a guy that teaches the girl how to play It starts
What
with an
shows?
S.
Yeah, what show are you talking
The Queen's Gambit.
about?
Netflix.
The janitor guy.
The janitor guy, and I think it starts with an S. But I found like my janitor guy basically, and it's ironic because I never. So I found him on the community wall that we have where I live. There they have a portal, and they have people can post on the wall, and it's typically the common things you'll see is just people asking. They lost their package of Amazon. They're just trying to get it back. So that's kind of like the general thing I see often. I barely check it, and ironically, I did, and I see someone that said, "Hey, anybody play chess? Here's my number. We can set up. We can kind of coordinate, and we can get together." I'm like, that's just weird, dude. I don't know what's going on. It's like what you said, Mike, about the card. Like, are you just noticing it now because you are hyper aware of it, or So, but I really don't recall people playing around me like that. So that's the ironic part. So, anyways, I hit him up, and we got together the other day, and he beat me every time. So, so, but we had a couple close games. But yeah, the guy has like years of experience. He's in his 50s. Taught his kids that are about my age. Taught his grandkids, and he likes it. He's much more like on it than I am. Like he has a nice collection, nice setup. So just connecting with new people, learning. He's actually like really wanted to take this whole thing and make a club and compete. Of players, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do that. Like nowhere near ready, but it's cool to play against people that are good. Makes you think, makes you expand. I've been playing a lot, so I won't go too much on that. One thing I did want to bring up, and I think you guys, we can maybe bounce some a little bit off here, but um I get this thing a lot with people. We're transitioning out of like just random thoughts in my head. Something with fitness. Isn't it always surprising that, or isn't it like, well, because for us it's common knowledge. People still believe and still fall for more days and the complexity of the routine automatically equating to better, right? And the reason I say this is because I scaled back a client to less days on their routine just because they were feeling kind of not as motivated. Maybe they were getting slammed at work, so life picked up a little bit, so the energy's down. And I gave them I mean, overall, my routines are pretty straightforward, but people always ask, like, when they look at the program, especially if they're new or maybe they're more intermediate, right? They're like, this is it. This is all I got to do. And it's almost like they never seen that before, which to me is like they bought into maybe Beachbody or any type of program that has a lot of variables and a lot of fancy jumping stuff, plyometrics done incorrectly, and a lot of hit cardio routines. But I give them a very basic strength program because we know that doing it long term, even for us, man, we love fitness, but we got other stuff we got to deal with. And it's crazy how the basic fundamental stuff, even in our routines that we make for ourselves or we follow, are so bare bone. There's nothing. You may add stuff if you want to like maybe increase a focus on something, but dude, like my routines lately have been like 4 exercises per day when I'm really like not there. But and this will translate later to our topic at hand, but it's just something that makes me think like, dude, like it's following a boring routine that seems boring will get you so far. And if you want to spice it up, and you can, but don't rely on that as that being your key focus as to that's going to get you results. And that's just something that I had on my mind. I don't know if what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Toyota Camry.
No blinkers.
Yeah. No, not even Toyota Camry. To go back to the same thing that we were talking about on the last episode. I mean,
that's right. Yeah, your analogy.
It's reliable. It's going to get you where you're going. AC is always going to work. Not ever really going to, it's not glamorous. Nobody looks amazing driving around in a Camry, but they get there, and you get a lot of miles out of it. And I mean, that's just that. I think that covers a lot of things here. Just that analogy of just being sustainable in whatever approach that you have. I mean, if you have a car that only works sometimes, that's not really a great car. If you have a workout routine you only do sometimes, even if it's a Ferrari of a workout routine, it's not the best workout routine for you. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the short topic, I guess.
Yeah.
Can I say that's an A+ analogy there?
A plus. Thank you.
Triple A.
I've been
Triple A rated.
practicing.
Triple A rating. Yeah, man. So like, I was just thinking that, and I had to really assess even just my organizing myself, right? And I know what it's like to dedicate yourself to your life revolves around training, eating, everything, your sleep schedule, everything, your social life, all kind of goes out, and you're focusing so heavy on looking a particular way, which is cool, man. If you ever want to do that, and that's a passion of someone, and you have the luxury to do so, and I say luxury because that's a lifestyle that many people can't really sustain forever. It depends on the person. You have to be a special uh obsessed individual. And it's not an obsession in a negative way, but it's like you have to, because I mean, if you're not, you're going to be miserable doing the process. You're going to love the craziness, the discipline aspect, the strictness, all that stuff. But for many of you that want to just look good, that want to feel more confident within yourself, you want to get back into a healthier state, and just improve all your markers, it's not as you don't have to go as complex. You don't have to be in the gym as nearly as much, right? So because you may have business goals, you may have career goals, you may have family goals, you may have other stuff that are just or important, or if not more important, add that as a supplement, and you can still look great, feel great. You just won't be bodybuilder elite level status unless you're a genetic anomaly. But and then, even then, like, it just is always fascinating, because I kept telling this person that they're like, is that's it? Is that bad if I go to 3? Or is it better if I stay at 4? And I'm like, do you want to stay at 4? Like, can you stay at 4? It's not bad if you can. We just organize it a certain way for you. But let's try this. Let's try a full body 2 to 3 times a week. If you miss that third day, not a big deal. Our target is that second day, and we're gonna go hard, and it's gonna translate over, but we're gonna try, work our ass off, and see how you feel, and how all the other things tie into place. So yeah, it's just and it blows myself away when I simplify my routine, even because I like to get technical and throw in variations and drop sets and increase certain things. But when I'm just like not in like that, dude, yesterday I worked out for an hour, and I did 4 exercises, took my time, just kind of doing my thing. It was after work, so I really wasn't in the mood to work out. But dude, I was like, this is when I should, just because I'm not gonna regret working out today. So I did 2 heavy hard exercises, and then 2 not as hard, but just really squeezing and focusing on that, going to failure on some more isolated movements. And dude, I feel great. I'm not like overly sore. I feel like I did some work, but um, it's simple. And I look at myself this morning. I got a good night's sleep. I ate a great dinner, and you just feel like your body's not like super burnt out, because those workouts that are fucking brutal, and you're like, damn, that was fucking sick, that was hard. But dude, you wake up the next day inflamed as fuck, tired. Your central nervous system is fried for like fucking 5 days. You're like, God.
Yeah.
And mentally that might have done you good, but it's not something, that way of living, that I would probably recommend if you have other things you want to keep focused, because your body's just prioritizing recovery. Dude, you're so tired that you just cannot bounce back from that workout. So Mike, any updates for us before we jump into it?
We got another dog.
Yeah, you told me about it off air.
Yeah. She's a
kind of dog?
she's a little Energizer bunny. When we went to the Humane Society, they told us that she's like a terrier mix of some kind. Having seen her run and kind of examining the shape of her body and everything, I think she's part whippet, which is kind of like a greyhound. She is speed. That's the best way I can put it. It's the fastest dog I've ever seen in my whole life. She makes Chester look like the rhinoceros that's fashionably late in Jumanji after the stampedes, and then it's just like the really slow. Like I used to think he was pretty quick, but he's not. But she's about 7 months old. She's a good dog. She's just a little too crazy sometimes because she's 7 months old. So puppy stage, kind of, but she's good on a leash.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't pee in the house. She's trainable. She's just super fucking fast. And we just learned that she digs, which is something I'm going to be dealing with this weekend.
Mm.
And I guess we'll be dealing with it for the next couple months while we correct it. But basically, I'm going to give her a like a designated dig site to kind of direct it, so that she, at least if she's going to do it, she can do it here and not get in trouble, as opposed to digging at my foundation or digging next to the fence or at my $900 tree, which that'll be a big no if she does that.
Anything else?
No. Book of Boba Fett just ended. Gabe, you up to date with that?
At all.
Oh,
I have not watched TV barely at all, man.
Dude, I think I'm up to like episode. How many episodes? So it finished? The series finished?
Yeah, it's done. At least this season is done.
How many total episodes were there?
8 or 9.
Fucking A. So I'm up to probably 4.
Okay.
I finished.
Has anybody shown up yet?
I know he shows up. So I think that's
no,
kind of cool.
Not that. Okay, well, he shows up, but
yes.
Okay, never mind. I'm
just not. To me, it's totally fun. You can say it.
Did they do the full on Din Djarin episode yet?
I don't know.
It's
say that I don't know.
Basically, just the Mandalorian takes over the Boba Fett show for a whole episode.
No, I didn't see that. So here's. Okay. I wanted to ask you this, your thoughts on the show. So I guess I haven't for a couple of reasons. I haven't finished. One, just, I guess, timing. Like, I haven't even started season 2 of The Boys.
Okay.
Right, so I haven't done that. I've been wanting to kind of keep up with Boba Fett, but I feel as if, I don't know, there's a little bit of a disconnect with me and the character. I feel like as they start to flesh him out, as they start to talk, to me, he's almost lost a little bit of that luster because he didn't know anything, because he was basically didn't speak or say much in the prior shows. So now that he has, I'm kind of like, okay. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh, no. I completely get it.
What do you think like that? Do you like him better? Do you like the character better now or before, prior to the show starting?
I think my opinion, my thought is that the Mandalorian is what Boba Fett used to be in everybody's mind. Badass bounty hunter, gunslinger type. And now Boba Fett he's obviously gone through some changes since the Sarlacc pit and the story that unfolds thereafter. And I think that affected him in a certain type of way, and now maybe he's just trying to do better or something like that, or he decides he wants more than to just be a bounty hunter or whatever. And so, like, as far as that being a directorial decision from the show writers, I like where they're going with that, but I would not have been upset if they just kept Boba Fett being Boba Fett and just given us a whole show of that. Now, that being said, I'm very happy with the way that it's going. I think watching it as a whole season, because you get a lot of the backstory, it's not that exciting. It picks up and it gets a lot more interesting towards like the back half of the season. And I think with the right ingredients, and I think they have the right ingredients, there's real potential. And especially the last sequence of the last episode is like one of the more badass scenes in Star Wars, in my opinion. But I like it. It's different. It's not what I expected. And like I said, I feel like the Mandalorian kind of took over that role from him. So they just took him in a different direction. I am incredibly excited for the Kenobi show. I can't fucking wait for that.
Yeah, I do want to see that. And then again, also know that this is coming from me, that I'm not like a hardcore fan or even, I guess, close to it. I did enjoy the Mandalorian, the show. This I turned in because of, I guess, the potential of it. I knew that the writers in there were great production. It's just an awesome looking type show. So I guess I wanted to see what's up with that. I'll finish it off just to kind of finish it off, but I'm not as, like if you were to tell me, I don't know, any Marvel movie coming up. I'd be more interested in that as opposed to any kind of Star Wars stuff. Not to say that it takes anything away from it, but I don't know. That's just, I guess, from that. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I think the last 4 episodes of Boba Fett were
The ones I haven't
really,
seen?
really good. Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think that's
Okay.
where it really starts to get
No,
a lot
all right,
more current and a
I'll
lot
finish
more
it up.
interesting. So, and I
I'll
think
finish up when I can.
if you are where I think you are, the next episode's all about the Mandalorian. So,
Okay, cool.
that one's a lot of fun. So,
All right.
I
did
like
see
where
that-
everything's going.
I
Overall.
did see the two South Park just picked up again, season 25, I think. And I did see the last 2 episodes. I think the newest episode came out last night or the night before. So I did see that. It's 2 new episodes. If you guys haven't, it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I gotta check it out, bro. I just haven't been really watching TV. I'm actually getting back into just reading, dude. Like just trying to pick up some time, like disconnect, so I don't get sucked into something. Because I'm like, if I'm watching something, I'm gonna want to finish it, and then I start like just diving in. I just have that. I have that personality, so I've learned to channel it in other ways. Which in this case, chess is taking up my spare time too. But
So
even stopping at a certain time,
what I
I'll
heard?
read another book. What?
I heard chest. Before when you said my chest up there, I thought you were talking about chest.
Oh,
like pecs.
Yeah.
Like the pectoral area. So
that too.
good.
I trained them. I trained these puppies yesterday, man. Just getting all
Nice.
feeling good.
There you go.
Gabe, any updates for us? Anything that you want to let the listeners know before we jump into this?
Well, yeah. I want to let the listeners know that I'm saying hey, that I'm hoping that they're all good, hoping that they're, things are moving forward in whatever kind of area in their lives that they wanted to, and that they're, if not, that they will soon take the necessary steps to have it moving forward. How about that?
There you go. I guess that's okay, Dad. That was kind of lame, but no, I'm just kidding.
Except for you. Fuck you.
I think I was teasing you on the gram yesterday. I think it was.
Yeah. Well, I was about to mention that. So I've been something like, maybe this would have been a good follow-up. I have been more consistent with my workouts. They haven't been as long as I've wanted them to, but I said, you know what, 30, 40 minutes is better than absolutely nothing. And I'm trying to prioritize going there a hell of a lot more now. And I say, okay, if I don't go in the morning, it probably won't happen. Sometimes I'm able to sneak in like an afternoon workout, but I try to go as early as possible. And what I've been doing recently within the past like week or so is focusing on or training more like a Bulgarian split squat outside of a regular squat. And what I've done the past 3 times that I've trained is actually with a barbell on my back, just to make it that much harder. And I've really been enjoying that. And that kind of goes back to the whole simplicity of it, where sure, there it is a variable of a squat, maybe something that not most people do. However, you can take that and just, it really kind of like just lights your ass up. Like literally my ass is always lit up every time that I do it. And I enjoy it. I'm just trying to push myself to go as much as I can, as far as I can, back to where I was before. I would love to get to the point where I think I was like repping like 185 on that, and I like to go there again.
You were doing Bulgarians with 185
with a barbell on your back.
That is correct.
Oh shit. Okay.
I know.
I haven't done that in like forever, man. Like it's been it's been years since I've done a backloaded Bulgarian split squat. It actually makes you now, and I'm actually now interested in doing that again.
Should give it a shot. It's cool. It's just something like a new way to load it, as opposed to just
The thing is, we got to put a cautioner. It's not for someone that has horrible balance, because you will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, you're gonna tear something.
So I have these 2 ladies that I've been training. I see them every Thursday, and we've been focusing on Bulgarian split squats. First, I have them just body weight. Then we progress to like a kettlebell on one side, then progress to a kettlebell in both hands, or weight in both hands, and one who has really good squat mechanics, good balance, good stability. I mentioned to her, I was like, hey, look, next time that we do this, I want to put a barbell on your back. Not weighted, probably just the barbell by itself. And this is with my help, with making sure that the safeties are there, making sure everything is lining up, and that she feels good prior to doing it. But it's a good it's a good way to just switch up that and make it that much harder, challenge
Hmm.
yourself. If you ever have any kind of, maybe your squat pattern isn't ideal and you sometimes feel some type of like a soreness in your lower back, it's a good way to really push it while still maintaining I guess pain free. I'm saying it all jacked up. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but my brain is mush as I've stated.
You,
Does that make
everyone's
sense?
lost. No,
No?
I'm just kidding. No, you're good, man. I totally understand. That's why I also like ironically enough, I've been having clients do the same thing. Not with the barbell variation. Most of them they just die with just the dumbbells, man. We just get to a
I
point
know.
where you load them heavy enough with dumbbells. I mean, it's more than enough. When I take myself through a leg workout, I've been switching off from doing barbell squat or a Bulgarian squat, depending on like what I want to do. If I really want to load my back today or not, and it always like impresses me that I'm doing Bulgarians, and I even got to the point where I was doing like a superset of Bulgarians with like a leg curl variation, whether it's like a stability ball or just a ball or the leg curl machine. And dude, like I literally wanted to puke. I was just like, "Bleh," like this is because the
Yeah.
intensity goes up so hard, so fast. I'm like, why would I do this to myself? But the workout, just 4 exercises for legs, something quick, efficient, and it never fails, man. Your butt cheeks feel
They
it for sure.
really do. Dude, it's just, oh, and then what did I do last time? I always try to end my last set with just either body weight or the barbell by itself and just try to rep out as much as I can. I just try to get
Hmm.
to, again, I know I'm lacking in this thing, so I try to get anywhere between 15 and 20
Hmm.
reps. So I'm really enjoying it. It makes me feel a hell of a lot better because I've stated before, just trying to work on the whole squat thing, and I feel like I do better single than double. It's usually the opposite, but I don't know. For me, I guess I'm so jacked up that it went a whole 180.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the body, right? But that's cool. Yeah, a lot of my clients are on the Bulgarian split squats. You can never get to,
Yeah, I
they
think I
can work
saw
a
I saw
long
in your story.
time. Yeah, a lot of them can benefit. Even you, the listeners right now, if you are doing a lot of barbell squats, I would definitely say, hey, that's good if you have a second leg day for whatever reason, or if you
Hmm.
want to throw in a variation that is going to spice it up and make it much more challenging. Go ahead and add the Bulgarian split squat. That's a phenomenal exercise. If you want more quad, positioning needs to be a little bit different. If you want to emphasize a little bit more on the front of the leg, just kind of keep your posture upright, allow more of that knee flexion to happen. But if you want someone that's more hammy and glute dominant, you'll still get quads. You can't completely take it out of the equation, but leaning that torso slightly forward, keeping that shin a bit more vertical and hinging, allowing the hip to naturally hinge back. Instant glute activation. It's rare if a client doesn't feel it. It's just such an effective, great exercise. I love to throw in there.
Oh hell yeah!
So let's dive into it, shall we?
See,
All right. So I know we kind of made a
touched on
longer
it.
intro, but but it's good to have everyone back, and I'm excited. So um, today's topic, we're gonna be mainly cover kind of like a piggyback off like what I was saying earlier about simplicity, right? Simplicity is good. There's also other training variables that are good, increasing your total volume over making a progression. Everyone good? Are we back? We back? I know there was
Yes.
a little bit of a
Yes.
lag there. Um, but yeah, focusing on volume is a way of progression um, over time, increasing your weight over time. But it comes to a point, right, that you're you can only train for so long per week or per day or whatever, and you can only see so many weight increases after you get to a higher level. Maybe you've been working out for a couple of years, you're out of the newbie gain phase, and now progress seems to be slowing down for you. This is kind of like where a lot of newbies, a lot of people that are just starting or coming from a long layoff, we know that you don't have to go necessarily to failure to stimulate that muscle growth, to see some type of results. But after a certain point, after you've worked on your mechanics, once your body has adapted to that stimulus, intensity is a variable that I think has been watered down for a lot of people. and a lot of people haven't experienced enough of actually training hard and putting in some real effort with their training. And I'm not talking about cardio stuff. I'm talking about really pushing their strength, because I think cardio stuff, a lot of people may do like hit cardio, and it doesn't take much and you're out of breath, you're sweating. But there's a difference with, like, Gabe just even saying, like, loading, getting up to 185 on a Bulgarian split squat takes some time, feeling comfortable. And then that is hard. It is, you have to really be concentrated. You got to put an immense amount of effort. If not, you will hurt yourself, right? So putting effort, keep picking up that intensity can be such a simple way that you can right now break through certain plateaus. Because I don't know about some people that get into a funk like myself, where you're just kind of moving, you're just exercising at this point. And I think Mike and I talked about the differences between exercise and actually training on a couple episodes. And there's a difference, right? There's nothing wrong with exercising, moving your body, right, and just getting something to maintain yourself, fine. But if you're someone that's kind of stuck and you want to spice it up, but like I said, you don't have to add another day necessarily, and you don't got to add a bunch of crap to your workout. Just go in there and actually get after it and be okay with that soreness the next day or the next couple of days. Because just by doing that alone, guys, you will dramatically increase the signal that is being sent that your body has to overcome. And obviously, you can overdo this on certain things. So go with a little bit of caution, and awareness of your body is going to be critical here, because some people, I think we've scared a lot of people, and I'll even say we have, to a point that we've scared away people from training hard in certain points of our episodes. And I want to just clarify, you don't have to do this all the time, but I would say if you're training only 2 to 3 days a week, I would definitely get after it, honestly, because you have more than enough time for most people to recover. If you're just getting decent sleep, you're getting a good amount of nutrition covered, and you're managing your stress levels. You're not someone that suffers from like anxiety or just having a lot of crap on your head. If you balance all those variables out, get after your training sessions, make it count. So that's going to make a really big difference on your overall results. Mike, I think your beard's touching your mic, and it's like sounding like someone's like hitting a bottle. There we go. It
I
stopped.
think I think it's the dog snoring.
No, no, no.
I
It
don't know
sounded like
what it
it
is.
sounded like a tap. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? There I go. There with my phone. What do you guys think about like this particular topic?
Well, what I was just about to jump in there and say is usually to the whole intensity, when people try to increase that, they automatically revert back to kind of like cardio aspect of it, right? And that's not mainly what we're referring to right here. What I would probably say is, like, let's just say if you, whatever it is, however you're training, typically I don't like going for a specific number, like an arbitrary number, like 8, 10, or whatever. I usually go for a range. I usually say, okay, well, I'm going to try to go for 4 to 6 or 8 to 12 or even 10 to 15, sometimes a little larger. If you're always hitting the top end of that range, you could challenge yourself to the next set of weights and maybe go for the lower end. If your range is like 10 to 15, it's nothing wrong with hitting like on the 10, 11, or 12. That's something that I kind of like to try to push with a client in particular. I always tell them, like, hey, it's okay. We don't have, I know the range is this. It's okay to go a little bit lower, so that if we're going to hit the lower end range, that maybe we're adding a little bit more weight to it. Maybe we're just challenging ourselves and increasing that intensity a little bit more. And you'll find that if you really do kind of like hit on the intensity in that aspect, when you're done, you feel like you just did, like, a sprint or
Mhm.
whatever, or even that could be something. It just really kind of like takes you a minute just to kind of even catch your breath, because of how hard you're really pushing your body. If you're done at your setting, you're just like, okay, I can kind of go again. Maybe you should probably, to your point, John, of get after it like a little bit more. Nothing wrong with being done and just finishing your set and be like, okay, I can go again. If your goal or your if your goal is just to move around and just to kind of let me feel okay. But if you really want to make some kind of changes, doing so would help.
Okay. Yeah, Mike, your dog is definitely doing something. I can hear it.
Yeah,
But it stopped now.
she's sleeping.
I just hear like, what's this sound?
I
I
know,
mute
I know, I
Mike's
know.
up, I think, and I heard it go away. But go ahead, Mike. What were you
Yeah.
gonna say?
So I mean, I would say, I think Jonathan, you actually told me this. If you're not a little bit afraid of what you're about to attempt when you're approaching a bar or a lift or whatever,
I
you're
did.
probably not trying hard enough. And that's something that really stuck with me. And I mean, there's, like we mentioned, there's value to just going in and exercising and moving your body and all that. We're talking more to intensity here. So with intensity in mind, I mean, if this is a weight you're 100% comfortable with, you can get under the bar and do 12 reps and still have a little bit left over, then this is more for you. And maybe to the point where, if I were to put 315 on a bench, I know there's no chance in hell that I could ever
Yeah.
bench press that. And that's not
Yes.
that's not quite the fear that I'm talking about. Now I can probably bench 215 or 205 or 225, somewhere around there. If I were to put like 230 on there, that's a weight that I might be able to do if I were intense enough, if I had enough effort on a good day. That's what I'm talking about. Pushing yourself just a little bit more than you're
Mhm.
actually comfortable with. And we've all been there. I mean, there's a weight that you maybe never done before. It's just heavier than what you're used to. There's a little bit of excitement. There's a little bit of fear. That's more what we're talking about here. And that's a really good way to kind of apply this is to sort of manipulate the weight to get you to feel something other than routine. And I think that that's something that a lot of people could hear and apply and benefit greatly from, especially if you've been at it for a while and things are kind of routine for you. I mean, that's a good word for it.
Yeah, I started training one of my buddies, a really good friend of mine. He's actually one of the guys that helped me with my original YouTube channel. So shout out to my boy Pedro. We started kind of working together, and we have made a plan or the commitment for the year for his birthday in December. Give himself basically almost a full year to get in the best shape of his life. He'll be 35 this year, so he wants to be in the best shape of his life. And he knows what to do. He understands macros. He's trained. He used to actually help me with a lot of my old videos, and we worked out together for a while. So he understands for the most part form and technique. And I was actually surprised when he wanted to genuinely hire me instead of just asking me to work out once in a blue. It's very different, which I never mind with my friends. Like, if you want to go come work out and just have a good time, sure. It's kind of a social thing still for me, and that's what I used to do with my friends. We used to just, hey, you want to go to the gym and go work out, and that was like a fun thing versus going out and going to eat or go get drinks or whatever. It's just a social. It's fun. You go work out, do something together, and bond. So he generally hired me, said, "Hey, I got this plan. I want to do this." And I'm like, set up the schedule and let's get you taken care of. And we're about, I think he's about to finish his third week with me. And by the first week, man, he was genuinely surprised. He was blown back by just how, even though I'm his friend, but I in trainer mode, I'm in trainer mode, and I'm trying to give him, just like I would any client, giving you the best of me, and show you and see if I can give you some value and educate you on some stuff, and just better your workouts. And it's cool because we can get past the basics. So we're going out and we're actually just increasing effort and intensity. So we're actually trying to make moves this year. So in this case, we are strategically planning everything out. We are applying the intensity at certain moments of the workout. And it doesn't have to be just the weight necessarily or the amount of reps, but just intensity and focus on your form, like making sure that it's so perfect that it's hard when you break it, you feel like, you don't want to, it's just right there, you're attacking the muscle. So it was cool to see his reaction, his expression after. And on his own, he's like, dude, yeah, dude, I feel muscles that I haven't been able to feel. That's, it's crazy. I didn't think, like, he's like, I now understand why people hire you guys, because it's so different than just having someone next to you giving you that extra push. So that's like where people, if people have any doubts and like, why would people do that, pay that? It's such a luxury. But if you're really serious, if I like, there's certain things that I would definitely hire a trainer. If I could, someone to have me there accountable, even if it's a friend, if you have a good training partner that's really gonna uh help you. It's different when you're maybe not as knowledgeable, it doesn't know, you guys are just kind of pushing each other. But if you have someone that knows, that's backing you up, man, dude, you can get so much more out of that workout. That same workout that you do by yourself completely fine, get so much more out of that. And that's a way that you apply that intensity, that focus, and you actually try to push yourself. His body's responding tremendously. No exercise really is stuff that he hasn't necessarily seen, maybe a couple of things, but the basics are the basics that he's seen for many years. And we're just now increasing a different mindset to it, putting a mindset and increasing certain factors that are going to make him push past that limit. So I'll be posting his journey throughout, and it's going to be cool. So that's something that I kind of was thinking about when you guys brought that up, Mike.
Did you just hear the noise again?
I did not. No, we're back. We're back on track.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
New pup. I know how it is, dude. Puppies, you know how it is with Chester. It was a lot just to get them they're like little kids. But yeah, I don't know, like, if you guys have any thoughts with your clients or anything.
Mike?
I don't have any clients.
Yeah, with your old clients, Mike.
This is something
now.
that a lot of people don't have. They just don't have a comfort level with, really. I mean, that's really what it is. It's, they don't want to fuck themselves up, and they don't know how far they can push themselves. And having the coach there being like, you got this, I know you can do this, or I'm here to spot you, or whatever the case may be, just that safety net, it makes a massive difference in their physique, especially if you get somebody that's got a lot of experience and they just hit a plateau and they don't know how to get out of it. Just fucking throw some more weight on, like, get them moving something they're not comfortable with. Oftentimes that's enough to like make the difference. And, maybe if, hiring a coach isn't viable for you, getting a workout buddy, or just finding somebody in the gym that you feel comfortable with, that you can go up and ask them for a spot, can make a really, really big difference in your physique and how you're feeling and how you're approaching the gym overall.
And now let's just say if you're someone who either doesn't feel comfortable doing that, or you don't see someone that you're like, I don't want to ask them, or there's no one here that I would like to ask. And just make sure you have the safety set up if possible. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it kind of like makes, why the hell do people bench or squat outside of the safety rack if they're doing it in the safety? It's just so weird to me. Like, or if they take the safeties and they just pull them out and leave them on the floor. Like, I don't, unless you're doing certain kind of things where they might be in the way, I don't understand as to why you wouldn't put them there. Like, why make the effort in removing them? Is what I'm saying. It's just so odd to me. And whenever I see that, I want to go up to the person and say, why are you doing that? Just that might be like a dick move, and not to be a dick, but just what's your thought process and how come? Maybe it's
Gabe, I want you to do that. I want you to walk up to that person and just be like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I just want to understand, what are you thinking right now?
Exactly. So can you please put me in, because I cannot get there. No, maybe what if it's to that point that you guys are making about that being kind of like scared of not having that safety net there. Right.
No, that makes sense. That's a good point.
Like, look at going back to what's the movie? Dark Knight Rises. When he makes the jump.
Yeah.
He has to take off the rope in order to make the jump, because he's just, I don't know, maybe that'll scare. Who knows? Maybe I'm just, giving them a bone and just trying to, make it make sense. But if you don't have, I'm just saying, just to maybe use those, if you have safeties on a squat rack or on a bench or whatever, put that in there, and that'll catch you.
Yeah, that was always part of one of the ways that I set up people for squats, if the safety bars are adjustable, because I know some squat racks at Anytime Fitness, they don't move, they're fixed. So but if they are adjustable, take the time to find the right depth for you, and just write it down in your notes or something like that. And then worst case scenario, you could put every 45 in the gym on the bar and try to squat it. And the worst that it happens is you drop to just below parallel, because the safety bar will catch you. And I mean, I'm exaggerating. That may be a little bit dramatic, and you might actually hurt yourself if you try that. But the worst that can happen in a reasonable attempt is you go down and you don't get back up, and the safety bars will catch you, and then you just climb out, take the weights off, and try again. I mean, just taking that extra couple of minutes can make a huge difference, and it'll give you a lot more confidence coming out of the hole, knowing that you're not going to like crush your vertebrae because you don't have the fucking safety bars in place. So I would
actually,
definitely recommend that.
I want to highlight a couple of things because this is actually an excellent point, because this can be the point where people be like, "Where?" So I'm just gonna try, but like, what tools can I use? What precautions can I take? So if you're someone that's doing, like, say, a barbell squat, or a bench, and if you have access to a squat cage that has the safety bars, you can use them. They're phenomenal things. I used to
Oh
do them
yeah.
for my heavy squats by myself all the time, because worst came to worst, I was at the position where I would typically get stuck at if I did, and then it rarely happened. But yeah, you can. Or in Mike's case, if the bar is fixed and you may be taller, or you just don't squat that low, you could literally just, if squats and stuff are important to you, learning certain techniques of getting out of it and allowing it to fall and
Yeah.
be loud for a second will just, it sucks, but it preserves your back, and it allows you to train another day. So, I mean, those are just things you have to learn how to get out of certain situations, even with the bench, for example. I mean, there's better and optimal ways to mitigate certain things. Now, for some of you guys that may be listening, that may be not as advanced, or may not be like in check with a lot of these like things, or with your mechanics, and you might have no business going that heavy with, or risking that much with these lifts, other exercises lend themselves better to increase these intensity factors, right? So um I think that for bench press, if you're someone that, may not have an optimal setup to bench press, dumbbell options are awesome, just because if you can't pick them up, you can bail out of this exercise very easy. And they're still a great chest builder and way to challenge your chest. I would say even, things that come to mind. I'm trying to think of another variation. Bulgarian split squats are an easy way to go nice and heavy with dumbbells. You can drop them, for example, if you don't feel safe barbell squatting. If you just don't have a good optimal setup, the environment's not there. So just, you can really go hard and bump the intensity. And worst comes to worst, you just take a knee. I mean, you take a knee, or you just drop them to the sides and just kind of get out of there. Um, machines lend themselves very well here. You kept it relatively safe for these other exercises. You're still trying, you're pushing yourself, but then this is where I would say the intensity aspect, taking it to that failure mark, can be okay. Like if you crush your squats, you did your RDLs, you've done lunges, you've done all these other hard exercises that are very technical, and you just smash yourself on leg press or on leg extension or leg curls, you're going to be safer. You're going to feel a lot more comfortable with yourself, and you're not going to be in a position where you could potentially hurt yourself badly. I think you can hurt yourself almost doing anything, but this very low risk for a lot of cases. Same thing with chest machines, fly machines, cables, all these things that you can really finish off and just give it your all, where you can walk out of the gym and, feel mentally better. You give yourself the right amount of dose of intensity that you can go ahead and recover from and get some gains. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know, Gabe, you were going to say something.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, what you were giving alternates to push yourself in certain movements. Like for an overhead press, I would probably say a Z press, either with dumbbells or a barbell. With pull-ups or dips, you can do them weighted. Like if you do 10 plus of either one of the two, throwing on a belt or holding on to a dumbbell in
Yes.
between your legs would be a good way to really push yourself in there. And I mean, I'm always I'm not going to start off with, like, if I do, I don't know, 10 pull-ups, I'm not going to start with a 45. I'll probably see
Yeah.
how a 25 feels. Okay, that feels fine. Can I add more? A 35, then 45, and then gradually see how much I can push myself. I'm just a bit more risk averse. Can you just go ahead and jump into, just pushing yourself as hard as you can? I guess you can, but I mean, I would always, not only to myself but also to my clients as well, I always just play it safe.
Um, I think that another thing that comes to mind is that, yeah, like what Gabe said, you're not just going to jump to the heaviest thing. A great way to get yourself comfortable with that. Maybe that weight that, like Mike said, might give you a little bit, give you your nerves up. You might get a little scared of. A great way is loading sets, like, progressional sets where you start with the exercise you're going to do and go light, just move to test out everything's feeling, how your shoulders, how your hips, how your knees, whatever the exercise may be. And then I think John Meadows coined these as feeder sets. I don't know, Gabe, if you've heard of them before. And Mike, have you heard of feeder sets?
Yeah.
Basically, like, for people that don't know, it's just you're kind of just adding like more consecutively these sets just to kind of build like the warm up. They're not counting towards your actual working sets, but they're just sets that kind of acclimate the CNS
I prefer that.
to what you're doing. Yeah, and I think that obviously, like, if you have some imbalances, I know some people knock, like, mobility stuff and stuff before working out. Working with enough people, I think it's for most people can benefit from it. Do you need to do them? No. But from our experience, I think that we can agree that most people could use extra attention on certain areas that might be difficult. But with that being said, it doesn't take away, warm-up sets are a great option. Acclimate yourself getting closer to that, and then jump into your heavier, last, maybe the last set is the one that you give it your all. Because I'm not saying like fail on every set necessarily. Like, we're not advising that. Even with the accessory work or the machine stuff, right? You're still gonna build up, and then that top set, that's where you push and give it a little bit more effort than you would on the other ones. And that's an easy way not to overdo it, because if you are failing at literally every set, you're gonna fatigue, you're gonna override in most cases your ability to recover, right? So there's a people, I think, have knocked on it, including ourselves, on the intensity, because I think that we've missed on explaining how to properly apply these things. Because back in the day, these people that had no literature, right? That had no like way to kind of, like, Arnold and his friends were just going at it, man. They were just training, they were just having fun. And they kind of started seeing what stuck and what didn't, right? Based on like, am I getting bigger muscles or am I getting bigger muscles? Like, what's going on? Am I getting stronger? Am I not getting stronger? So if you look at it, I mean, you still, intensity, I think, has been knocked so hard by a lot of our fitness people, and not with the bad intention. I think that a lot of people were probably just overkilling the height stuff and jumping stuff and just things that could really harm you. But when it
'Cause
comes to traditional strength training, it's more than okay to push yourself. Go ahead, Gabe.
No, I was going to say that if we have, well, we have knocked it only because of how it's generally incorrectly applied. Like when
Yeah.
we say intensity, people already jump to the conclusion of like a cardio base.
And not only that, they have to die on every set. Like, it's
Exactly. No.
every set's death. Like, no.
No.
So I've been lately, that's one thing, and I really wanted to kind of like lead it up to this point, that when I say effort, I'm not saying like, yeah, you don't want to be weak sauce on every set and just not trying at all. Like, you want to get to a point where you're feeling like, okay, you're also going to start learning like what can you really do, because you're going to start seeing like, okay, this weight at like 8 reps by the end, I'm feeling it. I maybe could have gotten one more with good form, or two more at best. Cool. Let me see if I can push this weight just a little bit more. And this is going to be my top set, my last set. I'm going to give it my all here. If I'm a little short, or if I can go over, then, okay, I've kind of reached my limit here. And this, guys, can be a game changer for many of you that have not heard this, or maybe just someone that needed a refresher. It's something that I've been applying to my workouts, that it has allowed me to maximize my time in the gym without spending every day or countless hours training, where I feel good. I'm not overtaxed, where my body's just fried for days. Like I said, you want to still be productive in other areas, but it makes your training fun, because there's something about trying and actually leaving it there in the gym, that it doesn't have to be literally like they scoop you off the ground with a shovel and throw you in the car, but you walk out of there with pride, you walk out there with mental clarity, you've added some layers of toughness to yourself, right? So all good things, and you get some muscle out of it, right? Motor strength. So anything else we got to add here?
Well, I would think another kind of easy way to apply this concept would just to be a little bit competitive with yourself. And this comes to mind from what you were saying about chess and Aaron and everything, where you have a little bit of competition there, and that makes it a little
Mhm.
bit more fun. It makes you want to
Mhm.
try,
Mhm.
it, rather than just playing chess just to go through the motions,
Mhm.
just to do it because somebody asked you to, and you don't want to be a
Yeah.
dick and say no. And you can kind of compete with yourself in that way. Compete with you from last week, and just even if it's just adding one more rep or 2.5s on the side or something like that, give yourself something to try for, and it may get to be a little bit more exciting. I mean, maybe you don't know if you can do it, and then you can kind of turn it into a little mini competition. That can be all that you need. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of difference. So,
Mike, I have to, and I have to confess to you guys, and I have to confess to the listeners. You remember that saying that goes, "How you do anything is how you do everything," something like that. I think that the
yes,
saying might be a little bit different, but
nailed
I'm,
it.
this is why I even said like I've been relaxing on the TV and I'm not starting a new series. I've been trying to watch Archive, but I'm going to try to leave it for the weekend and see because I've been hearing good things about it on Netflix. But I haven't started any shows during the week because it generally fucks with my sleep. I will stay up later knowing myself. I'm like that with anything. If I start something, I want to finish it. If I start like learn something, I want to get better at it and become if not one of the top, right, of like understanding certain things. I have purchased 2 books on chess, and I've been actually reading and with my board and playing the little. I'm learning the annotations of the stuff and understanding what the symbols mean, and it's crazy because I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's not really producing money in my pocket. It's actually taking my time from probably making more business or posting more content. I'm being transparent,
Well,
but
I'd
but
argue
the
that it does, that it helps in that aspect.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, there's other things that do, but the way I look at it is very like I always tell people you there's stuff that you have to do when because it's just it's a non-negotiable or discipline kicks in, right? But little lately for me, like it's I kind of if I take a little break from if I'm feeling stale with creating content, I've been stale with my business in the sense of like that urgency to want to continue to produce or reach a new level. My passion maybe like I'm kind of just going through the motions, and it happens to everyone. Picking up something else and getting excited about something else, and maybe taking a backseat only temporarily because I don't want to like do it to the point of its detriment, but I think it's just a way for me to eventually come back and do things out of love and things just out of because I'm in a position where like I train full time, and it's something that I generally love. Like I do it because I love it, and I never want to feel like my career turns into a job, like, or helping people or my clients become a job where I'm not excited to work with them. I'm not energetic. I'm not attentive and giving them the best of me. So this is kind of distracting me a little bit when it's not necessarily like a video game because I can stop it at any time, right? So, even games like that's why I try not to play video games because I get sucked in. But I have a very competitive nature, and when I'm hyper focused on something to learn, I literally dedicate and I find ways to learn in advance. So I know that somebody might be like out there like do that. That's okay. You have to learn how to channel those things about you, learn those characteristics about yourself, and that way you can turn it into something good. So that's kind of all I have for you guys. I don't know if anything final thoughts for the episode before we close up.
No. Oh, maybe I don't know if this should have been included in the beginning, but while I said that I haven't been able to keep up with much shows or much of anything, something that I have been doing that's actually I do this more so for like I guess like a to just to either I have a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? Busy, 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 busy. Something I like to put on like in the background just to kind of either calm myself down or just if I feel like either getting super anxious about like whatever task or whatever things that are going on. Like I've been going on YouTube and watching like maybe so weird or random, whatever it is that this may apply to you or something that'll help you out. But I've been watching a lot of like documentaries and stuff, but not so that sounds nice and sounds like, progressing my learnings, but not really, because it's more so like on video games. Like the story of like Mario 2 or Mario 3 or Punch Out or like that. I don't know. It's just something I've just been putting on in the background just to kind of whenever I feel like myself getting like, oh my goodness, I have this to do, I have that to do, or whatever. I put that on
Mm-hmm.
even while I'm doing stuff, and it kind of helps to just either calm me down or just either stuff on like same thing it related, but like either sports related. I think that's I've been doing a lot. So whatever
Yeah.
that you may find seems like that's what's going on with you with chess. I mean, that's why I
Mhm.
say I'd argue that it will help you in the long run because of how it's giving you that mental clarity, that sense of presence, right? Being in
Mhm.
the moment.
Yeah.
So I think it'll help you a lot going forward with this, and
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. I think like not maybe it might not be some a hobby or a topic that most people have would pick up. Maybe more so now after that show, the Queen's Gambit. But I think it's pretty cool. So I and it sounds like you've been putting a lot into it. So I'm sure you'll kick my ass anytime I decide to request the game.
At the at the very least, it's exercise for your brain,
Yes.
which
Yeah, we did talk about that,
yeah.
Mike. Remember?
Yeah, I mean that's never a bad thing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. There's some sort of stimulus to your brain in a way that's productive. I
You know what
mean,
I
and
like?
I've always been the kind of person who agrees. I don't remember which philosopher said this, but time you enjoyed wasting is not wasted. So even if it is a waste of fucking time, if you had a good time, you're a human. You're
It's not
allowed to do
wasting
that.
time.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, well, people that don't that maybe didn't check that episode out, basically like for they don't know those word games, puzzles, chess, and games that
Nope.
stimulate.
Brain
I forget what
Academy.
part
I
of
like
it.
that.
Yeah, and basically it just it fights off like people that can get Alzheimer's, dementia. It kind of like delays them, or even like I don't know if it necessarily prevents it, but it helps. I mean, little things like that. So, like I said, that's why I took a break from video games or doing stuff like that just to put my energy elsewhere. So, ironically, all like a lot of my buddies are picking it up too that
Nice.
haven't. So, they're they bought. I went to one of my buddy's house and I saw on his little nightstand. I'm like beginner chess for beginners or something like that, and I'm like, what is this? He's like, he's like, I'm not gonna let you beat me again like you did. So he took it upon himself, and I think that's cool. I'm like, people have been hitting me up on Instagram, like asking me for my username, and then we just add each other. So, all
Which
good
is
things. John Alva 7 is my old Instagram handle, but I just used it for my chess thing. And go ahead and add me. We can play if you guys like it. But with all that being said, let's wrap it up. Show concluded and send our listeners off on their way.
Mike.
Do you guys know how to get 4 old ladies to say the word fuck?
Nope, I don't.
You get the 5th one to say bingo.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Works every time.
Just a quick preface. This joke had me laughing out loud, which doesn't happen. I mean, you always do. You push air through your nose or something like that. And you go LOL, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I spent the last 2 hours trying to explain the concept of sunken cost fallacy to Jen. She doesn't seem to understand anything I'm saying, and honestly, I feel like giving up. But if I quit now, I'd have spent all this time for nothing.
Wow.
I like that one. It's a thinking man's dad joke, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. That was better than the other one, I
So
think.
for anybody that doesn't understand, sunken cost fallacy is the fallacy that if you spend too much time doing something, you can't give up on it because you would have wasted all that time on nothing. It's a similar
Yeah.
concept of putting a bunch of money into a car and
someone crashing it.
yeah, and then you're like, oh my god, I have to repair this car because I put so much money into it, despite the the I don't know, but I love that joke. I love jokes like that. Okay,
Awesome.
That's it.
We're all set. Cool.
All set.
So, listeners, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and as well as the dad jokes. As always, we're here for you guys. Hit us up. We're on the socials at the Next Level Show. My account is at John Alva Fitness. Gabe's at Prime and Glory, and Mike's at Mike Nillis PT. If any questions, there are in the description below. Check those out, and we will catch you on the next one.